Hello and welcome to the latest Customs Clinic videocast brought to you by Customs Manager. I'm Paul from Sandusky PR and I'm here talking to Arne, who is the founder of Customs Manager. And we're going to be talking about trading with the EU now that the UK's left the single market. Hello, Arne.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you.
How are you today? Looks as though you've got a busy port behind you.
Yes. I was just going to say your background looks amazing as well. Yeah, always busy, always ready to go, always ready to trade more.
Fantastic. Okay, so just a quick recap for those of you if you've joined us for the first time. The aim of the Customs Clinic is to offer practical advice and guidance on some of the common problems that exporters and indeed importers face when trading with the EU and the wider world. So Arne, today we're going to be talking about customs declarations, that old chestnut.
Yes.
And specifically, should you file them yourself with HMRC or get a professional customs broker to do it for you? And I guess the reason, Arne, that this is topical at the moment is that time's fast running out for customs declarations. I think the rolling deadline has now kicked in. Mm-hmm. So it means people need to get their act together and start filing. So I guess let's start with doing it yourself. What are the advantages of doing it yourself and how do you get started? What do you need?
Yeah, so as you say, customs declarations are a fact of life. If you are in Great Britain, you may have not felt that so much because of this delayed declaration easement that is in operation in 2021, has a 175 rolling day period. We made a separate talk about this, so I won't dwell on it here. But eventually you will come to the point where customs declaration need to be lodged. And now the fundamental question is, should you do it yourself or should you ask someone else to do it for you? And those that are in the camp of doing it themselves, well, they have quite a few arguments in favor. So for a start, if you're going to file yourself, then you have full control, right? You know what you're filing because it is you that's filing. So all these 50 plus boxes on what's called an SAD and a single administrative document, or the C88, now of course all electronic, you will complete them as necessary. So you know what you filed and you can trace the steps, you have copies of what you filed, and that's great. And of course this allows then a proper audit, this allows you to be compliant, and of course this gives you confidence that what you have filed is correct. And with that comes the opportunity to build your own customs department, right? Not only will you think about the compliance piece of commodity codes, origin, rules of origin, evaluation, and all this good stuff, you will also take full control of your customs declaration processes. And the final point I would say, so with the control piece, comes that once, if you have this filing capability and you are filing for yourself and you are doing it by the book, you can also think about integrating this into your wider ERP system. So your SAPs of the world, where you use computers in order to speed up processes. There is a thought that says, why not then integrate with clever software your customs filing into the existing system that you already have, link that up to HMRC, and then you have a kind of a one-stop shop. So you file, you control, it's your own customs control tower, and voila, you are in charge.
Do you need special software and badges for that sort of thing?
Yes, of course. You allude to that, and that's one of the points that is important to know in the UK. There is a rather comprehensive, not complex system of badges and authorizations in order to file to HMRC. Right. At the time of this recording, the majority of our imports and exports are done through the system called Chief. Chief is out of date and runs on outdated technology. And it means that we need a registration with the authorities, no big deal, but we also need software that interacts with Chief in order to even get to the system, so that's a purchase. And then we need badges, and badges are an interlink between you and Chief, and they are run by CSPs lots of abbreviations here, and these are the providers, the interlinks, the port operators, those that connect your declaration data with a cheap system. So there is a cost involved in doing it yourself.
Okay, so it's when you say there's a cost involved, I guess predominantly it's the cost in time, is it?
Well, it's not to be underestimated, right? So the downside of doing it yourself is first of all the question of cost, and cost, as you rightfully say, is time by your employees to type. If you're doing one declaration a month or 2 or 3, then that can be manageable in-house.
Yeah.
But the moment you scale up, or the moment your product becomes really popular, you have a good product market fit, you are going to see volumes that all require customs declaration that you can't manage yourself. No. You would need an army of customs filers to sit with you and do nothing but file. And so then the question becomes, is this a viable exercise? Right. So there's time of your staff that needs to be invested, that they can't do anything else. And then the other cost is indeed the running of the system. So you need to decide how are you going to get the software that allows you to interact with the filing authority, and then what batch are you going for? So there are various batches that you can get, and what's a little bit odd is that in the UK you get batches by port. So
we are a little bit odd in the UK.
Well, okay, that's maybe a different story, but yeah, so different ports have different badges, and you need, if you want the full service and you want to come in and out whichever airport or whichever port, you need all these badges, and the software plus the volumes plus the badges and the authorization takes time and quite a lot of money, just on a rolling basis, just to be able to file import declaration, which is why many people say, you know what, I'd rather ask somebody else to do it for me.
Okay, which leads me on to quite handily onto my next question. So what are the benefits of using a professional, a customs broker, someone who's got that expertise?
Well, one of the benefits is, of course, the mitigation of risk. As you say, customs brokers are the experts in the field when it comes to customs filing. That's what we do. We file declaration on a daily basis. We know how to interact with the inventory systems of the ports. We also know what goes in what box so that we can tell a consistent story. If you think about your accountant, right? When do you get an accountant? If you're doing, a self-declaration of your taxes with a small business, that might be possible. You might want to do that yourself. But when it gets more complicated, when you growing numbers, you don't dream of doing, all your tax returns yourself. You get a professional to do it. And that is the same principle here, except of course here we're talking customs declaration, we're talking all these intrinsic details of declarations, of valuation, of classification, of origin. There is a way that Chief would like to receive your data, and the new system coming in shortly, CDS, there is a way it wants data. There are lots of codes, hundreds and thousands of codes which have specific meanings. And more importantly, these codes, they change what you pay or what you don't pay. Right. So getting these codes wrong is not a good idea. So in short, it's a risk management system. And of course, you get the expertise from this broker. And if this freight agent really takes time to get to know you as a business, not only may they help you with the filing, they might also, if they're a customs consultant as well and a training provider, might give you the full, VIP treatment of advice, training, and filing, and project support. And that must be a global business dream combination, I think.
Right. Okay. So it sounds like there's quite a lot involved if you're doing it yourself. Maybe if it's a handful of declarations a month, that's doable. But it sounds like there's a bit of a volume volume game. When businesses scale up, I guess that's the time they need to engage in professional support.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about the benefits, the advantages of using a customs broker. So what should you look out? How do you go about deciding to choose a customs broker? What should you consider?
I would say number one is expertise, and that is, you know, who are these? Do they have the knowledge and the awareness? Do they know how to file customs declaration? Can they explain what is a commodity code? Can they explain to you how import-export works? Are they customs geeks, you know? Yeah. And that brings us to the second point. So first is the knowledge and the awareness and the ability to translate all this complicated stuff. The second thing is the geekiness, is the passion, right? Are they, you know, are they seeing this as a form-filling exercise, or are they seeing, wow, I can really see the story here, you know, what's moving where? Are they the ones that will invest time to look where your shipment is, to connect early in the morning, connect late at night, to see, is this coming in, so that there are no delays? Are they working with you? Do they know when you're expecting something? Hey, do they know your product, right? If you are in special nuclear reaction material, that's a whole different ballgame. If you're in agri-food, right? So agri-food has license requirements, so does a special isotope uranium enrichment, right? So, but the licenses are totally different, the treatment's totally different. Yeah. You need a partner. In other words, you need a partner who is understanding your supply chain, who's willing to invest the time and effort to make sure your goods reach your customers faster. And one way to do that is to file effectively, efficiently, and of course, compliantly.
So in terms of choosing someone, then, I mean, those are obviously qualities and expertise that are going to be really, really valuable. So I guess in terms of choosing a customs broker, how would you find out about their track record? Maybe look at some of the companies, organizations they work for, their experience.
Yeah, I mean,
so I guess
what I would do in the end, these guys are your partners, right? If they don't understand your requirements, if they don't become an extended part of your supply chain, then that's not a good job. Then they're not doing the right job. So I would pick up the phone, because in the end, it's experience is one thing, passion for customs is another, but the feels, right? Is there chemistry? Do I see these as somebody that helped me grow? Do they get me? It's something you get from speaking, you know. It's something you get from belief in their ability, and no many references and no many marketing parts can replace that. It either works or it doesn't. So expertise plus practical experience plus ability to explain complicated concepts in easy way, the ability to be with your supply chain, to be part of an extended arm of your supply chain, to get you to understand what you're doing, and a fuzzy feeling that says that's gonna work, is the magic.
Okay, now that's all sound advice, and I guess it's almost like a job interview. You know, if you engage someone, you want to tease that sort of information out of them to make sure that they're going to be the right fit for your business and to help take you where you want to go.
Yeah, and especially, you know, if you're gonna scale, you need a partner who understands that your projections in 5 years are to be here, and then that they grow with you. Right? They will have the infrastructure, the software, the badges in place to allow you to grow and not become a showstopper. So all of that's important, and I like the job interview idea, because it's a long-term gig for sure.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks, Arne. Some more great customs advice. I think it's worth mentioning also that you've launched a specialist customs declaration filing and verification service to complement the
it's born out of client requests, right? So we're helping them with advice, we're helping them classify, determine the origin, determine the valuation, we help them become AEO authorized. All of that is good stuff, And then they ask the question, okay, now who's going to file this for me? So logically, we need to offer a one-stop shop, and we're excited to be offering filing capabilities for our clients. And that includes, of course, Northern Ireland and the system of TSS. So whether it's supplementary declaration for your delayed declaration, whether it's Northern Ireland TSS declaration, or whether it is normal imports and exports from GB out to the world, including the EU, you know, we are a port of call you should explore.
Okay, some more great advice, Arne, and I look forward to speaking to you again on another burning issue, another important topic at the next Customs Clinic, brought to you by Customs Manager.
Thank you very much.
Thanks once again, Arne.
All the best.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.